Hey, what's up, everyone? I was just going through my handgun collection, and well, I saw these four guys hanging out, and thought it might make an interesting video. What you are looking at in front of you is probably under $200 worth of handguns. Yes. Now, you might be saying, well, that looks like a pile of junk. Well, maybe, but you know what? It's my pile of junk, darn it, and I love them. But anyway, a little bit more about this. Now, as you might have guessed, not all the handguns in front of you work. This one right here is in 38 Smith & Wesson. Works just fine. Totally fine. It's actually the best one of the bunch. I might have actually paid about 70 for that one, to be honest with you. This one was about 40. This one's in 24, I should 24, 22 short. It's a revolver. It's pretty cool. It's a vest pocket revolver made by Harrington Richardson. I think it was made around the 1920s, early 20s. This one is actually in pretty nice condition. I like this one very much. And like I said, this is in 38 Smith & Wesson. It's a top break revolver, just like this guy right over here, which is also a top break revolver. That is in 32 Smith & Wesson. And then we got this guy over here who's also a 32 Smith & Wesson. So, like I said, this one doesn't look like much, but believe it or not, it actually works. It's a pretty cool little revolver to shoot now and then. As you might guess, it's 22 short. You know, it's like over 100 years old, so you probably won't want to rely on it for self-defense, but it's a welcomed part of my collection. I just like it. You know, how do you not smile when you see something like that? Like I said, this one is just cool to me. I just love this one. Probably also because it's the closest to a full-size revolver we have on the table right now. This one right here has some issues. The cylinder basically doesn't lock in place. It locks, say if you're going counterclockwise, doesn't lock going clockwise, which could be a little bit of an issue. So I'll have to get that serviced at one point. This one right here, when I got it, it needed a little bit of love. Unfortunately, I took it to the gunsmith, and by the time it got done at the gunsmith's, it needed lots and lots and lots of love. So I don't know if I'll ever get that one fixed, but I do think it's a cool looking gun. So again, glad to have it in my collection. This one is a Harrington Richardson revolver. I think the other ones are a mix of H&R and Ivor Johnson. This one right here, as you can, I don't know if you're going to be able to really read it, but this is an Ivor Johnson revolver. That one I believe is also, let's see. Oh no, this is a U.S. revolver. And let's see, what's this guy? And this one I am almost positive is also an Ivor Johnson. You can see Young America over there, and I believe that was an Ivor, oh, excuse me for that, an Ivor Johnson name. So why did I bring these out here? Well, for one, my wife only said that I tend to like jump around on my interests quite a bit, but one thing I never lose interest in is handguns. And I think the reason why is because I'm just very into like, you know, politics and rights, and especially Second Amendment rights. And I like handguns, and that's two reasons. Third, I like to know how things work, and I especially like to know how things have worked over time and changed and evolved. And fourth of all, I just love history. So, you know, some people might love handguns as much as me, but they might look at these, especially these three over here, and just say, it looks like a pile of junk. But to me, I don't know, it's just really interesting. To me, even if they don't work, they look cool. And even if the finishes on them aren't the best, or, you know, if they got a little cracked grip here, or maybe they got a little pitting on them, I just love them. You know, even just as a display piece, I'd rather look at that than a fancy piece of crystal any day of the week. I just enjoy them immensely, and sometimes it's almost like surprising to me how cheap you can get these sometimes. Now, I bought a lot of these, I would say maybe 5 to 8 years ago. And like I said, I kid you not, these three here, I can't tell you the exact prices because it was a while ago, but they were between $40 to $60 a piece. This one here, I think, was about 70. It might have been a little bit less, but I think it was about 70, which makes sense because it's the largest one, it's the nicest one, and it functions well. So that was kind of a steal. And you might be thinking, well, you can't see that anymore. Well, actually, you can. I'm kind of kicking myself. I went to a local gun shop maybe a month ago, and they actually had one that was pretty similar to this one right here. Pretty similar. And they only wanted like $50 for it or $45, and it said that it wasn't working. So I'm thinking non-working handgun, $45, $50, and it was probably either an Iver Johnson, U.S. revolver, H&R. Usually, when you see them, those are the most popular ones. I mean, obviously, you see Smith and Wesson and you see Colt now and then, but those tend to be a lot more expensive. You're not. I mean, you could probably melt those into a block of metal, and you're not going to get them for $40, $50. But these you can. So I just want to kind of, just kind of point these out to you because whether you wanted to get, handguns that were, non-functioning to make up a really cool display, save them as something that you can use like to practice your own gunsmithing skills, or if you're lucky and you find a reasonably priced one like this that you could take to the range every now and then just to enjoy and show off to your friends. I really think that there's a lot of good options out there. These were all purchased on Gunbroker, like I said, about 5 or 6, 7 years ago. I haven't purchased anything on Gunbroker lately, though, because it's kind of crazy right now. It's like, for one thing, they started charging sales tax on Gunbroker a few years ago, and that was one of the big reasons why I chose not to shop there anymore, because when I would see a handgun offered it by a local shop versus one that was, an FFL who was in another state, you have to pay shipping to get it to your home. Well, not your home, to your home FFL, I should say. So you have to pay shipping to get it there, but you're not paying shipping at your FFL. Now at your FFL, you're paying sales tax, but you weren't paying sales tax on Gunbroker. So those things would kind of even themselves out, because if you're buying a $500 gun where I live, it will be $35 sales tax. So, and also the FFL that I used to have used to charge $25 for a transfer. But if you had more than one transfer, he would just charge you $25 flat. So even if you were transferring 2 or 3 handguns, he would just charge you a flat $25. But some places around me now, they're charging $30 and $35 for FFL transfers, and they charge it per handgun. So it's really not worth it anymore. I can't remember the last time that I purchased a handgun from an online shop, because I think most, well, I wouldn't say all of them, but most of them are charging sales tax. So that kills me right there. And then the FFL transfer fees have become exorbitant. So it would actually be, even if I get the gun a lot cheaper online, it's just not worth getting it, shipped to me or shipped to an FFL. Now, if another good thing is if you have a Curio and Relics license, a lot of buyers will accept a Curio and Relics license, so you can get it shipped right to your door. So if they're not charging sales tax, or if you don't have sales tax where you live, and you don't have to pay an FFL transfer fee, and then you're doing pretty well, because maybe you're just paying shipping. And for something like this, it's not like you're getting a shotgun with a 28-inch barrel on it, plus accessories, where it's going to be a big box and it's going to have some weight to it. I mean, one of these things, they're less than a pound, so how much does it really cost to ship? Not too bad, actually. So just wanted to put these on your radar if they haven't been on your radar, because like I said, cool display pieces, cool historical pieces, and if you find one that functions, good to take to the range. And if you want to dabble in gunsmithing, my only advice to you is that if you did want to dabble in gunsmithing on these, don't let this be the first thing you dabble with. I'm telling you, I've never opened up one of these revolvers, and quite frankly, I don't want to. There's a lot going on in there with things that could possibly break and springs that can go shooting out at you. So I think it would be really, really easy to either lose things or forget how they go. There are schematics that you can buy especially for the more popular ones, because some of these I think were pretty popular, especially something like this that needs the help. I think this was probably a pretty popular version, as was this. So you could probably get schematics. There's a site online, I think it's called Numeric, I'm probably butchering that name, but they sell all kinds of parts for basically defunct handguns. And I think that's where you can also get schematics for some of these old guns, so it's definitely worth looking into. One word of warning, though. I have gone to some shops, and like I told you, just recently I found handguns similar to these revolvers, that were like $45. I've also gone to this other gun shop near my house. I actually haven't been there in about 6 months, and on a couple of occasions, he's had very, very nice looking versions of these guns for like $300. Now, it was a very nice looking version. It even had the original box. Personally, I wouldn't pay $300 for them, and I would be I would be a little afraid to spend that kind of money, to be honest with you, because I'm thinking these weren't made with the best of components. That's my feeling, and I'd be afraid to spend that kind of money on it. And plus, it's not like if you're going. I mean, not that 300's a lot for a gun, but it's 300. 300 does seem a lot of money for a gun that's almost 100 years old. That isn't kind of like a top-notch brand. So if you do, I'd probably proceed with caution. But like I said, I want to put these on your radar because every time I see them, they make me smile. And I figure they'd make some of you gun love and history buffs also smile. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.